Okay, so before we get started with the dungeon run, there is a change that I do need to bring up. You may remember in the previous patch that they changed one of the moves for Dragoon, which was Mirage Dive. They changed it in such a way that when you used your high jump, you would be able to immediately use Mirage Dive on the same button. They made it so that you could press high jump, then it would switch to Mirage Dive, and you can immediately follow up with that without having to press to a different button. That was very convenient, and it was actually quite clever that Square Enix did that. Well, for some reason, in this patch, after just one patch, Square Enix decided to renege on that and put Mirage Dive back as a separate ability again. So that's why it's back on my hotbar as a separate ability. I have no idea why Square Enix did this, but I did this run earlier today with Corinne, and suffice it to say, I was both shocked and bitterly disappointed, as I'm sure many Dragoons are, that this clever decision by Square Enix was taken away from us after just a single patch. Yeah, Square Enix, we're gonna need to talk when this is all said and done. Anyway, let's go ahead and show off what we're getting ourselves into with the Fel Court of Troya. Owing to the ingenuity of Hannish alchemists, you have succeeded in expanding the Void Gate in the treasure vaults, and prepare to set forth on your mission to find Vitra's brood sister Ajdaya in the 13th. Beyond the emptiness of the rift awaits a shadow castle swarming with void scent, and steel yourselves for a hostile reception. To be here, you have to be no lower than item number 575. So yeah, they're not messing around here. And we're gonna get a key right out of the gate. Let's just hope it's not one of those too good to be trues. And it isn't. Alright. And so we're entering the light. And much like on our trip to the First and our trip to Elpis, we're passing in between worlds. Going through that void between spaces around all these little crystals and clusters along with our 3 other party members. Ultimately getting to where we need to go. Our destination is right in front of us as we're going on in. Brace yourselves, it's going to be a bumpy ride. And so once we open our eyes, there's myself and our 3 party members as we enter the first of patch 6.2's challenges, the Fel Court of Troya. The main story dungeon of this place, and it's hard to believe that we're getting this right away, but here we are. And so off we go. Everyone here has the mentor stat. Let's hope we fight like mentors too. And as you can see, perhaps not surprising that this is in the 13th in such a void. All the floors are warped. But that's just the beginning of the craziness in this. Let's chase and make sure we can cast as much damage as possible as we're having our tank pull as much as needs to be done. Alright, let's go. Let's hook up with my fellow DPS, which in this case is a summer for this round. We'll start dealing as much damage as we can. Yeah, there are scavengers, there are sentries, there are a few other things too that we get to look forward to as we're dodging AoE. I do have to say, I really like making use of the abilities as I have them. To be able to just do as much damage as possible to groups. Yeah, it's really hard for me to find myself in a situation where I just attack individual enemies now when there's mobs like this. I'm so inclined to want to be able to attack everything at once with my AoE trinity. And of course there's also Gears, Pogo, Nastron, Star Diver too. Now we're dealing with pawns. There are no chess pieces to put these things on, there's no chessboard for them to be placed. We arrive over at this spot now. Don't take them too far away. Launch into the air for Star Diver. Hit the jump again, hit the high dive, spy shatter, and deal more damage. With everything we got. And go! Well, don't lose it yet. Can we use it to finish it off? Yes! Okay, we're past all that. Yeah, someone says, it appears rats are wanted in my castle. Looks like we got our first boss in front of us. Or do we? Yeah, the boss escaped and is now forcing us to take on a enemy gauntlets. So, we shall oblige. Got all the danger that's going to be coming our way. No real surprise, we're seeing Titan at full use here. Launch that into them. So the gears hold it down, but we also gotta be careful because, yeah, you gotta have to watch your surroundings here because, among other things, the enemies will serve as not only reinforcements, but also when they do show up, they'll launch these AoE lines at you first, and then hit the team. So we're doing a pretty good job of wearing them out right now. It almost feels like we're in the middle of doing Amarat, the second boss in Amarat, where you had this enemy gauntlet, but in this instance, it's pretty much the entire boss fight. Kind of reminds me of what once was Copper Bell Mines. Of course, those of you familiar, they have changed Copper Bell Mines in terms of its format quite substantially. And for those of you who are wondering, I do intend to eventually show off the revamped Realm Reborn. But there was even something that happened that was done in this patch today that was a surprise. They are going to revamp the Steps of Fate. That was the last trial of a Realm Reborn. Those of you who might remember when it first came out, it was a challenge that was so hard that people, if they got in their trial roulette, they would abandon the party immediately. But it was a real ultimate teamwork challenge, and it's one I really enjoyed, but I guess some people did not like it as time went on, and they said that it's time for a new look for the Steps of Fate themselves. Square Enix did that today, along with all the other things that they did. Now, one thing we're going to have to really be careful about is watching when these things gather together, because one will get an expansion of their AoE to use on us. All the while we're in the midst of this damage race, which is also similar to the second mini-boss over at Amarat. They'll try it again, but they won't have any luck getting there. We're free to move on. So now, item level is 595 for the treasure you find here, as we now open things up and let's have a look at this place, shall we? And look at the big, massive castle that looms in the distance. It's not quite our challenge over in Aglaya, the first 24-player raid here in Endwalker, but it kind of feels like it in a way. It's just a darker version of it. So now that we're inside the castle, let's go on and deal with the guards that are around here. There's actual guards, there's Footman, there's a Trojan Hound. Yeah, I want to keep calling them Trojan Hounds, because the naming is so similar. The only thing is that Troia is spelled with an I, Trojan is spelled with a J. I mean, it's kind of hard not to make that mistake if it's your first time here. And the summoner is needing a little bit of help, as the tank is already moving on. And so we need to do the same. Let's put this into you. So as we're going through this as well, I'll also talk about, that's not related to what we're doing here, is that I'm going to another con this weekend. If you had the opportunity to watch my Anime North quote-unquote vlog, where I showed off myself cosplaying as Sailor Jupiter for the first time, Well, I'm going to be doing that again in a few days, but this time it's going to be done at the biggest con in Toronto, which is Fan Expo. It's being revived after the pandemic put it to rest for a few years. So I'm going back there to Toronto to do it again at Fan Expo. There was another con that I did it at a couple of weeks ago. That was a little con known as Pretty Heroes, which is an all-female superhero con. It was held at a much smaller venue than Anime North, and there wasn't as big of an attendance, but it was still a fun little thing to do. And just like at Anime North, I did get people asking me for pictures and wanting me to pose for them and whatnot. And there was a professional photographer there who was taking pics, but they said that we would get those within a week, but I haven't seen those pics yet. So once I get those, I will be showing them off on my Instagram, Twitter, and also be doing it on the making a video for it. And I'll also be doing a video for Fan Expo once I have the opportunity to get into that as well. So lots of stuff you can look forward to over the course of the next little while. We're making our way through. Heads up. Almost got the knight and the bishop down. Can't quite declare checkmate just yet. Off to mini-boss number 2. And it's this one again. It's Return of Beatrice. Let's go ahead and confront her. This time she is standing her ground. We'll go ahead and Limit Breaker since we do have that in full. Looking to bring the Eye of Troya upon us. As you can see, it's a bunch of seeing eyes that want to rip us a new one. Of course, we also want to make sure that we're not standing in her line of fire either. Which in this case, though, is quite a fancy little spread pattern that she's got here. All you really have to do is just memorize the pattern that the lines set themselves at, and you'll be fine. Apparently I was standing a little too close. Thought I was good there, but apparently not. The tank got hit twice in the meantime. Well, he's the tank. He couldn't be able to stand his ground like that. Whoa! Yeah, flirting a little bit, aren't we, with disaster. As you can see, we already worn Beatrice down quite a bit. Already got her past half health. Gotta be wary of your surroundings. Drop that on your head. And now time for more Eye of Troya. Wait to load, and there we go. Yeah, now Beatrice is really getting fancy with this. In fact, she forces you onto the inside. Oh, apparently I got hit 3 times. I am soon to die, but thankfully I didn't. Yeah, I was trying to put myself in a position where I would not be able to get the eye on me, but it worked when I was running this earlier with Grin, but not so much this time. I thought I'd be good in this regard, but clearly not. Oh geez, 4 times over. Yeah, I'll just stand clear for that blast. Yikes. Thankfully she's almost dead. And there we go. Or at least dead for now. Yeah, she's like the Mega Sisters back over in Tower of Zots. We can beat her here, but that doesn't mean she's gone for good. So as we walk around the throne, we'll head on up and continue climbing. Up the stairs, hang a left, and transition to another area. And so back outside again, where we have these fancy blue and purple hedges all over the place. Yeah, it's not quite the royal menagerie over in Alamigo, is it? let's go and chase these things. Yeah, it's not quite the Royal Menagerie, it's not quite the Grand Cosmos and Shadowbringers. It's something all its own. And wow, the summoner is really doing a good job of drawing everything off the tank. We're trying to target anything. Okay, there we go. Start wearing them down. Trappers, foothunters, and equerries, whatever those things are. I definitely need a definition for a title like that. And off we go. Yeah, look at all these little void gates that we got here. We also have shining lights, but they're not necessarily shining for the right reasons. Here we go! We shall follow. Follow the big ugly spiders, follow the gargoyles now. Anything you can think of that is goth-oriented, it's here. Whoa! Watch out for those spider webs. Oh, you're dead. Good. Oh, not so good, not so good. Almost there with this pack. Move. There we go. There we go, we got it. We can just go manually from here. Yeah, there's a treasure chest over there. Apparently you don't want to be eaten. I don't know why.
So
yeah, there she is.
The gate did open again and delivered the most mouth-watering morsels.
But apparently something else was like, screw that, these things are mine. So much for her. And now we have to deal with you.
I am Scarmilione, Archfiend of Earth and first of Golbez's Circle of Fall.
Yeah, we're going
That
there.
pleasure I will take in delivering you unto your graves.
They even have a remix of the Final Fantasy boss music. As if there weren't enough Final Fantasy IV references in this expansion already. Let's jump into the fray. And away we go. Final boss, the Fel Court of Troya. Time to deal with Scarmilione. And the array of disastrous deviants that this thing will do.
Breathe deep before death.
Now we gotta get ready to avoid danger here. Gotta spread out here to avoid disaster on this. Thankfully it does not go any further than that. But even when targeted, we still get this debuff on us for 10 seconds. And as you can also see, some of the space has been opened up. Similar to Zelphatal, if you're not staying in the right spot, you will get knocked into stuff. So watch out for tactics of this. Stay out of that danger. And then come over here for the Blighted Sweep. And this is very much a altered version of the Final Fantasy IV boss music. Gotta stay away from the tank buster. Already got Scarmilione down to half health. And we gotta avoid this too.
Protect me, my minions.
Because now we have an enrage. Try and get the group attacks down as much as possible. Fill this down as 2. And just go to town. All the while avoiding danger on the outside, but getting ready when having to run from danger that's on the inside. And then let me drop in on you. Alright, group attacks all the way. Here's Scarmillion's ultimate. It hits quite a few times. But we all survive. Alright, the fight continues. Thankfully, I found the perfect thread the needle spot. So when you're fighting for space in a situation like this, you really gotta be careful. Alright, let's run over here. Continue onward. Stay together for the stack mech. Oh, it's gonna happen, this Carmelion. It's gonna happen. Back around through the backside. More lighted blade work. We gotta stand over here. Yeah, they didn't notice it, but I did. Because I've already been here before and done this fight. We are on the verge of double limit break here. Which is right now. Let's put it away. Got it. Yeah, you killed one of your own to try and be stronger, and it didn't do a damn thing for you. Yeah, no happy celebration here, unfortunately. I do hope they bring that back, though. Let's go ahead and get the comm. And turn it over. I didn't get the opportunity to properly dote. But, okay. I got 2 comms. And so, after our victory...
This Scarmilione, he knew the gate had opened.
And not for the first time. He and his brethren must keep watch over the portal.
As we do ours, but to unflinchingly consume a fellow Voidsent.
Creepy, isn't it?
Like men, perhaps they form factions and fight amongst themselves.
The question is, what will the minions do?
Probably escape. Oh, we can hear some of them around. In fact, I don't think they like the fact that we beat up a whole bunch of their friends. Yeah, look how pissed off they are. That's a lot of them. And a few of them are actually familiar.
Your mistress is no more, and the one who consumed her we slew in turn. Do you still mean to try us?
Exactly, Estinian. Yeah, do you all really want to press your luck? Because here's a whammy right here for you.
I expect some Voidsent are more intelligent than others. Perhaps these ones simply do not understand our words.
Well, that's possible.
Even beasts ought to understand strength.
Exactly.
There is much we do not know about Voidsent. If we are to survive their world, it would be wise to learn their ways.
I'll agree with that. Let's proceed with caution and pick up what we can, or don't overthink it, we'll improvise as we go along. Well, yeah, it would be best to be cautious in this situation.
Sage advice, my friend. 'Tis reassuring to have one so experienced with us.
And if nothing else, we can enjoy the foliage. Yeah, I guess we've discouraged them from making any further advances, for now.
I am here, sister. Finally here. And I will find you. I swear it.
But even if he does find Ashdaya, will she even recognize him? After all, he is in a human's body, as it were. Or more specifically, in Aura's body, in this case. And it's here where they actually give us the title of the patch, Buried Memory. So, let's have a look around this place. Give you a good glimpse of where exactly we are. I mean, they were nice to give us a sunset, but I surmise it's like a World of Ruin Final Fantasy VI style sunset. Why don't we head on over to Ashtola to complete the quest and see what she has to say. This castle should serve as a base of operations for now. Ere we set our sights elsewhere, let's see what there is to learn here. I agree with that. So, for completing the first quest of patch 6.2 and getting the dungeon cleared already, we get 5,572 gil. From this point onward, you will not encounter Aetherites for a while. Should you leave Troia Castle, you may return here via Weaver's Warding. Additionally, you may now enter the Fel Court of Troya with a party of NPC avatars. To make use of this feature, open the Trust interface located under Duty in the main menu. And so, there we go. Dungeon is done. I'll just chill out with Ashtola here while we're preparing ourselves for what comes next. So yeah, it'll be up to Varshan to get us on with the rest of this content, so we'll be back in a moment to do exactly that.